Well, good morning, everyone. Once again, welcome to another live this morning. Hope you're having a great start to your day. Question and answer Friday. So we always look forward to that. And Annette, you're the first one up this morning. Good to have you on. Nativity, good morning. And Patricia, Mike from Norland. Brahim, good morning. Charlotte, hello. Lou, Ella, and Rosa. Good morning to you, Maria. And Roland, good morning. Denise from Oakville. Jocelyn from Sturgeon. Frida and Laura. We got some good questions this morning. Think you will enjoy. Wendy, good morning to you. Nick from our staff. Rhonda and Frances Marie and Lori, Pauline and Maria, Helena, Linda from St. Jude, Quebec. Sue, good morning. Karen, good morning. Deb, couple more. Good morning from Viderma, Detroit. The sun must be out. Delia, Kevin, good morning. Diane, we appreciate you guys. Two Dianes, one from LaSalle. Hong, Ho-ong. Oh, I hope I didn't murder that. Jane, Phyllis, Lise. Okay, let's get going with our questions. Lexi, Debbie, and Colleen from Alberta, bright and early. Okay, first question coming up. Brenda, how to get rid of all the toxins when Candida dies off. So if you're doing a reset and you haven't fed those bears, remember, yeast needs to be fed. Don't feed the bears. They want sugar. They'll call your name. A lot of sugar cravings is the fact that you have an overgrowth of Candida in your body. And some people actually experience what they call a die-off when they are taking probiotics or Candida formula or whatever, plus they're not feeding the bears, and the yeast dies off. That's one of the things that we are aiming for on the reset, because when you don't feed it, when you don't feed Candida or yeast, you're helping it to die off. And some people actually feel unwell, usually lasts a day or two. If they get a die off, that's a medical term for yeast dying off. The question is how to rid the body of all toxins. Well, look, your body will do it. Keep your liver clean. You see, the biggest detoxer in your body is your liver. And the reason for that, when you go to bed at night, your liver works the night shift. It cleans your blood. It detoxifies your body. The problem is, if your liver is all gummed up, you're not going to detoxify like you should. And so the idea is keep your liver clean. If you eat a low-carb diet and on the reset a no-carb diet, you're cleaning your liver. When your liver is clean, it will produce a substance called glutathione. Okay? And glutathione is Velcro. It's like Velcro. And as the blood filters through the liver, the glutathione will, like Velcro, attach itself to toxins, including Candida. Of course, you do that through the bowel to some extent too, when you're detoxifying through there. But the idea is keep your sugar down. Not only are you not feeding Candida, you're helping it to die, plus you're emptying your liver. The biggest thing is your liver. When you're drinking a lot of water, kidneys flush out. okay? Water is essential, and only water is water. So one of your greatest detoxers is drinking water. Like your kidneys are like Niagara Falls. You want to constantly get toxins out of your body. Drink water. Keep your liver clean. Don't feed the bears. And your body will detox. Okay? That's why we love probiotics. There are certain strains of probiotics that help to detox the body too. So there you go. Okay? Good question. Thank you for that, Brenda. Now we get to some others. Barb, can you talk about a swollen colon? Well, again, Barb, like you've asked me to like, you got 26 feet of colon. Like, swollen can be, is it in the upper part? Is it in the small intestine? We call that SIFO, small intestine fungus overgrowth, which I believe it is. That will give you bloating. That will give you inflammation. But you can get that in the large intestine too, from diverticulosis on the left side, usually of your transverse colon on the way out to the anus. That can become swollen. And, there's several reasons for it. You know me, I think fiber is overrated. I think a lot of people take too much fiber and they irritate their gut. That can cause irritable bowel too. And because they think they're rabbits or cows. Grass is meant for cows and rabbits. You're not a rabbit. And, because we bought the lie that fiber. And that came, guys, I can tell you, I watched it happen. It came from the cereal companies. Fiber, it's the key. Fiber is the key to your health. It will lower your cholesterol. Why do you want to lower your cholesterol for? Okay? So, and it was brought to you by, this fat-free diet that's been around for 50 years. Let's eat fat-free. Instead of eating butter, let's eat margarine and all this kind of stuff. Folks, those are hydrogenated oils. They irritate your gut big time over a period of time. They're artificial. They're not natural. And guess what? So your body, and the other thing that will swell your colon oftentimes is when you're feeding the bad guys, you're feeding the bears. And that's why we take you off all sugars on the reset. No sugar. We want that gut to have a holiday. I know I'm sending your pancreas to Hawaii on a holiday for 30 days, but your gut gets a huge rest too. It's amazing how people, they don't realize how much fiber they're consuming, how much sugar they consume. And when they call something insoluble fiber, that means your body can't use it for nutrition. It's insoluble, doesn't break down. So what happens, you think you win a prize if you have a large stool. There's no prize for that. You win. You're first place. You got a large stool. What's that got to do with your health? Nothing. Now, I'm not telling you to be constipated, okay? But drink water. One of the best things for your gut is water. And coffee, of course. Vitamin C. Okay? But there's a lot of reasons for swelling. IBS. I think I'll do a little bit of a teaching again on irritable bowel syndrome in the next few days. There's a new study that came out, and So that was from Barb, and Monica said she's reading on the internet. And guys, you got the internet? Read. Read. I like that. I really do. But don't believe everything there, okay? So just use your cocombre, and that's French for your noggin up here. Use the common sense God gave you. Question me. That's why we have question and answers. I am going to answer your questions. I don't shy away from that. Okay? So here's what Monica read on the internet. Oxidized cholesterol may be more dangerous than having high LDL. Wondering what your thoughts. Well, I don't care about high LDL because that's not dangerous. It's not. I don't even look at your LDL. You want to send me your blood work? I'm happy to look at it. You know what I'm looking at? I'm looking at triglycerides and I'm looking at your HDL. I don't care about your oxidized cholesterol. I don't care about your total cholesterol. I don't care about non-HDL cholesterol. I don't care about any of that. I don't. And Monica, this is not personal. I love you and I mean it. I don't care. The internet cares. The pharmaceutical companies care. But I don't care. And I can tell you that we have been fighting a losing battle in heart disease, a terrible. You know what? If the success rate of statin drugs, which are cholesterol-lowering medications, they should be, in my opinion, off the market. Why? Colossal failure. Colossal failure. They haven't even put a dent in heart disease. And all this talk in the last 18 months about, COVID and all this and that, the virus. But in the meantime, every day, thousands are dying of heart disease in North America. Thousands are dying every day of cancer every day. And you know what? It sort of got put on the back burner because, and it always bothered me. And you know that. I've been consistent about it. Because heart disease, we're losing the war on heart disease. We're losing the war on cancer. The war on cancer, we're getting shut out. There's more cancer today than there ever was. There's more heart disease today than there ever was. And the reason is we are looking for love in all the wrong places. The pharmaceutical companies has hijacked the medicine. And it's cholesterol. If it was cholesterol, our heart disease would almost be completely eradicated. But it's worse than ever. Statistically, it's worse than ever. Because lowering your cholesterol, oxidized, or LDL, or whatever, I'm sorry. It's not true. It's not true. So, Monica, I tell you, when you eat low carbs, when you get your sugars out of your diet, you are going to lower your triglycerides. When you eat eggs, meat, and cheese, you are going to elevate your HDL. Those are your FedEx trucks, Amazon trucks, whatever trucks you like, on the highways of your blood vessels, which hitch their wagon to triglycerides. That's what's dangerous in your bloodstream, not oxidized cholesterol. What's dangerous in your bloodstreams are fat balls, 3 of them. made from your liver when your suitcase or the Costco parking lot is full of carbs and sugars. Seems simple. But I can tell you, Monica, you know more about nutrition if you understand what I just preached to you than 99% of the population. I have no, how would I say this? I have no expectation that the world is going to change anytime soon. They put something in their craw, like cholesterol, and good luck trying to change people's mind. And in all due respect to physicians, they bought the lie. They bought the lie of society. You say a lie long enough and people just believe it. It must be true, must be true, must be true. Cholesterol's bad, cholesterol's bad, cholesterol's bad, cholesterol's bad. Don't eat butter, don't eat bacon and eggs, don't eat, look at all the fat, look at all the fat. Look at that fat, that gets into your blood vessels and clogs up your blood vessels. No, it don't. No, it don't. That's not what clogs up your blood vessels. But guys, I'm telling you, 99% of the population, hook, line, and sinker, believe the cholesterol lie. They put a heart on cereal boxes, like Cheerios and whatever, and I agree, they should put a heart on it, because if you eat that stuff, you will get a heart attack because you are producing triglycerides. Cheerios equals high triglycerides. No, Dr. Man, I got to have my oatmeal. No, you don't. Well, you do if you want to have a heart attack. Eskimos don't get heart attacks. I'm not supposed to say that. Inuit, our northern nation, they don't get heart attacks until they eat McDonald's and our cereal. The breakfast of champions, guys, is not cereal. It's bacon and eggs without the toast. Okay? Without the toast. Anyways, Monica, I appreciate the question. I do. It gives me a chance to reiterate, strengthen, give you the other side of the equation, and I'm happy to do it. I won't change my mind on it. I won't be silenced on it. I'm just going to tell you what, you get, and the proof in the pudding is, like I said, look at our heart disease today. It's worse than ever. Worse than ever. That's just a fact. Okay. Wendy, do ketones and being in ketosis feed Candida? Just the opposite. Okay? Just the opposite. Ketosis is when your body is burning fat as fuel and not carbs as fuel. Okay? You got three macros. You got carbs, you got protein, and you got fat. Those are your what we call macros. Okay? And when your body is burning protein for fuel, the king and fat, protein and fat make you healthy. Carbs, not so much. So when you go into ketosis, it means your body is burning ketones. It's a different fuel. And no, Candida hates ketones because it can't feed it. It needs sugar. It needs those crappy carbohydrates to feed them. It's just the opposite of, let me just get to the questions again. Very good question, no, Wendy. Kelly's asking, what do you do when you're highly allergic to cobalt? I never thought of it. I don't know. Where would cobalt be? Where would you get it? I got to look it up in food. I don't, cobalt. I'd never heard of it. Kelly, honest to God, you know what? I was in private practice almost 47 years, and I never heard of anyone being allergic to cobalt. But I'm going to Google it and look it up. I'm sorry. I just saw this now, so I don't want to give you a stupid answer, Kelly, because it's probably a very good question. I just never heard of it. You got a fingerprint, Kelly? Makes you unique. I don't use the word weird anymore. People come after me for that. But you're unique. I never heard of cobalt, allergic to cobalt. And if you are, where is that found? I mean, in terms of what do you have to avoid? I got to Google it. Seriously. Okay, I'll Google it after. And an article said that most D3 is synthetic. No, most D2 is synthetic. D3 is a natural vitamin D, okay? So, no, D3 is the one you want to take. And if you look on the shelves of any health food store or whatever, and what we use at the clinic is a natural vitamin D, okay? It's not synthetic. And of course, we put vitamin K2 in ours because that's important, okay? And somebody asking the question later on, and we'll come to that when I get there. If I go down there now, I might never come back because I saw that question, okay? But another question that is, Deborah's asking, wondering about tanning beds. Well, I've asked that before. I'd be very careful. I'd be very careful about tanning beds, okay? Like at one time, I think they're probably better today, but I'd be very careful. It's not a natural way. If you're extremely low in vitamin D and you want to go take a couple of sessions on a tanning bed, you make sure that they are certified and that radiation that you're taking there is safe. I just never been really high on those things, okay? I haven't. You're better off to top up your dehydroxy vitamin D by taking a supplement. You can't get into Viderma. You can't get out in that sun. And we talked about that yesterday for the production of melatonin. Well, you know what? You need to take vitamin D. This is the time of the year that, the vast majority of people, I mean 90%, I'm confident when I say that, are low in, they do not have optimized levels of vitamin D. And that, my friend, is the tragedy of all tragedies. Because if there's anything more important than vitamin D, I'd like to know, because there isn't. And yet the world, again, would be concentrating on cholesterol. They're concentrating on the virus, but they don't talk about your immune system. They won't talk about it. And what helps your immune system the most? You're a human solar panel, and you have your T cells won't be activated properly without vitamin D. Your Navy SEALs that go after viruses and bacteria. It's incredible to me, not surprising, but incredible, that the world is gone stupid. Can I say that? The world has gone stupid. Because you're almost not even allowed to talk about, well, let's build up everybody's immune system. Why don't we do that? It's almost like, I actually answered someone yesterday because it was a physician saying that, in an article, natural immunity really works. And I said, Hello, Doc. Hello. Are you kidding me? Have you just discovered that your body actually has an immune system? It's meant to fight bacteria and viruses. You're always, guys, we're always going to have viruses. You think you're going to live in a world? Well, you can't live in a world without viruses. What are you going to do? Put yourself in a bubble the rest of your life? Hey, is it really worth living? Is it really worth living if you can never, I'm going to live in fear the rest of my life? Guys, we have an immune system. Make sure it's working. And it'll never work. It doesn't work, guys. It doesn't work properly without optimized levels of vitamin D. This has been one of the most important medical advances, is the importance of vitamin D, and it's being suppressed. The truth, which will set you free, has been suppressed. And that is why Dr. Martin here gets a migraine, has his blood pressure rising. When I see the nonsense of our world, politicians, the government, medicine, drives me crazy. Okay. I'm sorry. Okay. And Monica, okay, sorry. Would like to know your thoughts on a product, Smart Fresh, that keeps fruits in warehouses up to 12 months. I don't think much of it. I'm sure, I haven't looked it up, but I'm telling you, if it does that, it's synthetic. I guarantee you that. And I don't know. I'll Google that too. But if you're asking off the top of my head, I would say, Monica, I'm not a big fan. Sorry. Colette, is coronary artery disease reversible? Yes, it's reversible. It depends. It depends on you. It depends on your diet. There's nothing that is more important than what you put in your mouth every day. Because your body is unbelievable. And even if you got hardening of the arteries, your body will regenerate. You've got to give it the best tools possible to regenerate. And the best tool possible to regenerate is food. And in heart disease, in coronary heart disease, you want to be, I love K2. Why do I love K2? Because K2 takes calcium out of your arteries and puts them in your teeth, in your bones where they belong. Calcium does not belong in your bloodstream, just like sugar. Okay, calcium's good for you. But you see, and I just, you got to come with me for a minute in your mind. And I'm going to tell you what, I'm a big believer in God. You guys know that, I think. So if you don't, I am. I'm not apologetic for that. But if you look what God gave you in food, think about this for a minute. You don't get calcium. You do not get calcium in food without K2 in nature to bring it. You see, so when you eat a piece of cheese, because I read the other day, or somebody, it might have been on the question and answer the other night, I can't remember. But, cheese, it can't be good for you. Yeah. Well, it has, cheese curds especially, have the highest source of vitamin K2. Vitamin K2 is put in nature with calcium. So when you eat cheese or you eat butter, the vitamin K2 takes the calcium that's in the butter, that's in the cheese and some meat, right? And it brings it takes calcium, the K2 in it, takes it to your bones. And this is why for 50 years, guys, I have been screaming, 50. When this whole thing about cereal, this whole thing about eating low fat, this whole thing about, let's be rabbits instead of carnivores. I was screaming. I've always screamed against it. Because you have to understand that in nature, God gives it to you so that your arteries won't harden when you eat steak or eggs, because it's got vitamin K2. Vitamin K2 is only found in the animal kingdom. It's not found in the plant kingdom. K1's in plants. K2 is in eggs, meat, and cheese. Why do you think I'm so big on them? Because it's nature's perfect food. It's got calcium. You need calcium. But you don't want calcium in your bloodstream. You take a calcium supplement, it's in your bloodstream without K2. You want it in your teeth. You want it in your bones. And you wonder why my ladies get more osteoporosis? Because they like their chicken and salad. I've been screaming about that for so long. I shake my head when I see people, oh, that's bad for you. Animal, red meat, that is so bad for you. It's got red meat, it's got cholesterol. Look at the fat on the red meat. Eat it all. Why would you want to eat lean meat? That's chicken. I'm only teasing. But you better eat the skin on the chicken. Because that's where you get your fat. And vitamin K2 is a fat-soluble vitamin. It's there in perfectivity. Is that a word? In perfection. In your animal kingdom foods. I'm going to say it, and I'm going to say it, and I'm going to say it again and again. That's how your body operates. We see, one of the reasons we see so much heart disease today is because of our obsession with cholesterol and lowering it when it's the best thing you can eat is your cholesterol in the animal kingdom, because it's only found in animals. Isn't that amazing? Cholesterol is only found in animals. Vitamin K2 is only found in the animal kingdom, in dairy, in eggs, and in meat. Hello? Hello? How could that be bad for you? It doesn't make any sense. It's propaganda. It's not science. Follow the science. No, follow the political science. Now we got a guy like Bill Gates who's trying to, buying up all the farms apparently in America to get us off meat. I'm glad I'm 70 years old. I'm telling you. But they're not going after you as much to change your mind. They're going after my grandchildren. and my great-grandchildren. They're not stupid. They indoctrinate in school. See the little eyeballs on those cows? Don't touch them. Don't eat those things. They're no good for you. I'm telling you guys. Anyway, sorry. Doug, will ganglions go away? Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. They're usually not a problem, Doug. Sometimes ganglions have to be taken in surgery, taken off, because they, can hinder a joint or, a sebaceous cyst or whatever and it gets infected and you got to take it off. But generally, some go away, some go away. Take a Bible out and hit them. That's how we used to get rid of ganglions. Okay. Sharon, Sharon, look, it's hard for me to answer this question because you're asking me something personal. I'm a diabetic on a pump and a reset for 3 months, and notice half the day I do not need the pump. And sometimes I guess I do. Well, you got to figure that out, Sharon, okay, for yourself. I mean, how you feel and watch your blood sugars. You ordinarily, okay, and most people, when they do the reset, they actually put diabetes into remission. You're never cured. I don't like the word cured. I cured you of diabetes. No, you put into remission. So now it becomes a lifestyle. Eat that way. Find out if you're a diabetic. Here's the rule of thumb. You're a diabetic, you have an allergy. You're a diabetic, you have an allergy to carbs. You and carbs don't get along. Just put that in your gray matter up there, and don't let anybody deceive you. You and carbs don't get along. It's as simple as that. And then you got to figure out, because some people, they might need still a little bit of insulin. It depends on how much damage was done to your pancreas. And but generally the reset, and that's where it started. Like I tell you that in the book, I tell you how I got started on the reset. It was to put diabetics into remission. It started with that. Then I found out, oh yeah, look what it does for inflammation. Look what it does for autoimmune. Look what it does for all these chronic diseases, Alzheimer's and dementia and all of these. It's unbelievable. I'll put it up against any eating program in the world. Because before I wrote that book, folks, we had at least thousands and thousands and thousands of people that did the reset. 30 days to change your life, to change your habits, to take you out of insulin resistance, take you out of metabolic syndrome, empty your liver, take down inflammation, lower your CRP, get your triglycerides down and your HDL up, lower your blood pressure. I mean, I'm telling you. Okay, good question, Sharon. But specifically, you got to just monitor that, see how you feel and monitor that. Mark, I have a 73-year-old cousin that every day at different times breaks out in really bad sweats. It's a she. Is she still in menopause? Okay, women and hormones. But listen, here's where generally I like when everyone sweats too much, okay? Or they break into a sweat several times a day or whatever for almost no reason. The first thing that I look at is low levels of vitamin D. It's a sign that you have low levels of vitamin D. So find that out. Find that out, okay? That's the first thing. Now, there may be hormones, even at 73. I've seen those estrogen, progesterone imbalance even in the 80s. Women, I feel sorry for you. You got hormones, okay? They only become hormones when they're unbalanced. Okay, and body temperature could be the thyroid. There's a lot of things, but generally I want you to check your vitamin D levels because that's the first thing that comes to my mind and my experience. Nancy, can you find out if tumors and calcification in the breast are the same? They're not the same. Calcification in breast tissue is usually when, how do you know you even have that, is usually on a mammogram. And they're benign. But I always say they can be precancerous calcification. They're not the same as a tumor, but I believe that a tumor starts with calcification. So if someone, on a mammogram, and I'm not telling you to go get your mammograms every day or whatever, I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is calcification in breast tissue is a sign, in my opinion, my experience, that you're heading, remember what I showed you, and I don't even have my pen with me right now. The tip of a ballpoint pen, the tip of it, takes 5 years for cancer to grow to that size. It starts so small, you couldn't feel that in your breast tissue, ladies, if your life depended on it. And it's picking up estrogen, and it's picking up insulin on its way to becoming a tumor. So stop it. Block the estrogen. Stop the insulin. You know how to do that. Lower your carbohydrates. Pauline, is there a specific test for systemic yeast? Well, live cell microscopy. I used to see yeast every day. If you're sniffling all the time, postnasal drip, oftentimes like a sort of an unexplained cough and things like that on your skin, look at your skin. Oftentimes you can, there's a saliva test. I was never big on that. For yeast, I used to like to look at it under a microscope. But, doctors ain't going to test you for yeast. They just won't do it. How do you get vitamin D if you're allergic to the sun? Samantha. And that was Nancy asking about the breast tissue, and Pauline asking about yeast. Samantha, well, then take it. Yeah, there's some people that they don't do well in the sun, either they're lupus or whatever, and I feel sorry for you, but that's all right. If you got to take vitamin D as a supplement. You have no choice. Okay? Viderma is the best way to get vitamin D. But if you got any allergy to it, or you live in Canada at this time of the year, even when the sun's out, you're not walking around in your shorts or short sleeves, right? So you're not getting vitamin D. You're getting melatonin. In the middle of winter, you get melatonin if it's sunny out. But you're not getting vitamin D. So that's why I'm big on the supplement of vitamin D when you need it. Okay? Good question. Is DHA, Colette, is DHA the same as CoQ10? No, CoQ10, your body makes CoQ10 when you eat meat. And Tony Jr. and I talked about this the other day. One of the big reasons we see so much atrial fib and so much congestive heart failure is that heart is a muscle and it needs CoQ10. Okay? And it needs a specific one. If you're going to take it as a supplement, make sure it's ubiquinol and not ubiquinone. Ubiquinone is CoQ10, but your body doesn't absorb it. If you're going to take a supplement of CoQ10, make sure it's ubiquinol, O-L at the end. And you know how to get CoQ10 the best way? Eat steak, vitamin S. There's nothing better for CoQ10. But DHA is in the animal kingdom. Okay? DHA is in steak. DHA, the very specific DHA, it is the longer chain fatty acid. And guess where it's found? It's found in the animal kingdom. Fish, steak. Plants have omega-3. Okay? ALA. Dairy has omega-3. CLA. CLA is good. Problem with plants, they often have high omega-6s, and that disrupts your balance between omega-6 and omega-3. That's why I'm big on the animal kingdom. I am Mr. Animal Kingdom. Okay? Okay, you need to eat it. And Darlene, what causes oxygen desaturation? Well, desaturation would be anemia. Your red blood cells could be from the bone marrow. That's where your red blood cells are made, and your spleen. And if you're anemic, there's all different types of anemia. Low B12 will give you low oxygen. Low iron will give you oxygen, less oxygen, I mean. So you know, this is what causes oxygen desaturation. You need B12. Where is B12? Where is it found? Red meat. It's not in chicken. Okay? So make sure. And that's why we're big even on supplementing B12. Because a lot of people just don't, well, if you know, and B12 is a finicky vitamin anyways, but it's the biggest cause of desaturation of your oxygen levels. Okay? Thanks for the questions. Okay, guys. Okay, Friday we always go a little bit overtime because we had so many questions. I want to hit them all. We appreciate all those questions. We appreciate you guys. We love you guys. I say that, but I mean it. The other thing is that, did you get your Christmas gifts yet? Okay. Get the reset. Makes a great gift, guys. It's easy reading. I'm not complicated. I'm a simple man. I try and write simple so that people understand what I'm saying. I try and make it clear. Okay? And we love you dearly. Talk to you soon.